All right, welcome back to Flight Sim 2020, and we've got a bit of a historical route today. I always really liked the Star Alliance livery for the South African 737s. Obviously, SAA doesn't operate the 737s anymore, but this was always one of my favorite liveries to see flying around. So we're going to take that for a spin today. This is obviously the PMDG 737-800 for Flight Sim 2020. And we're going to be taking it from Cape Town down to Durban today. So what I've been doing is trying to kind of learn the 737's procedures in as much detail as possible. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on in a couple of videos coming up, going through all the kind of preparation. So going through the FCOM and trying to do as many of the procedures as realistically as we possibly can. So it is a nice early morning here. The sun is starting to rise, so we'll probably be departing in the sunrise, maybe a little bit after, depending on how long this takes. It's normally about an hour to get everything set up, so this is going to be a fairly long setup procedure. But having said that, let's jump aboard and start getting things set up. So the first thing we're going to do is the electrical power-up supplementary procedure. Now, one thing that I like to explain is that you can turn the torch on and off. Flight Sim has a torch, but it does it automatically. And in the 737, it doesn't switch it on. So we're gonna have to try to do the first little bit in the dark. So first thing we need to do is close the guard on the battery. And having done that, we should be able to switch this on. There we go. Right. Now at least we can see what's going on. Okay, standby power guard is closed. Alternate flaps, master is guard closed. Wipers are both parked, and they are both parked at the bottom. Okay, electric hydraulic pumps both off. Landing gear lever down. 3 greens. And no red. Right, we're gonna go with ground power here, which we don't have. So let's come down here. Obviously this one's gonna be off, so we need to come here. And let's request the ground power. Cool, so there's our GPU, and we should now have this available, so let's switch over to that. Okay, verify that source lights are extinguished, and transfer bus lights are extinguished. Transfer bus off lights are extinguished, and standby power off is extinguished. Right, we'll start the APU later, so that's cool. Right, so next thing we need to do is the IRS selectors over to nav. Oops. On DC, and then the align lights should illuminate. Cool. Okay, voice recorder switch we can leave as is. Okay, and things like fire extinguishers, crash axes, and ropes we can't check. Right, then we need to come back up here and verify the PSEU light. That is extinguished. GPS light is extinguished. Okay, service interphone should be off. Reverser lights extinguished. Engine control lights extinguished. EEC switches on. Passenger oxygen, that should be guarded. We don't want to open that because that deploys the oxygen masks, and that light should be off. Okay, 3 green lights for the landing gear. flight recorder guard closed. And then we can come back here. And we need to check circuit breakers. Okay, so panel 6, we can kind of just look down here and see that none have popped out. Manual gear extension door is this guy here, so we'll make sure that that's closed. And then we can come across to this side and do the same with the circuit breakers. Okay, parking brake. We're going to go ahead and set that now. Right, now we can come to the CDU and start setting up. So, okay, so let's double check. We'll take these ones. Put that in. Okay, the other thing I should have done is we should come here and just double check that these are all correct, which is cool. Right, then we'll do, so Cape Town, Durban, King Shaka, we are Springbok 1324. Okay, our route today is Octed. UQ12 to Dunser. Like so, we can activate and execute. Okay, let's go to the departure. And we are taking off from runway 1. And we're just doing a direct departure, it seems, to Octed. So in reality, that would be vectored if they did do that. Okay, that's cool. We'll set up our arrival now, because I like to do that anyway. We'll double check. Currently, runway 6 is active, and we'll double check that before we descend, just in case the weather's changed. So that is runway 6, and it's the Dancer 1 Alpha, so we can execute that as well. Cool. Let's go to the legs page and just double check. That's cool. The other thing we probably should have done earlier is actually just set this up. So we need 8637 is our fuel for today. And 0 fuel weight, 60.7. Okay, and having done that, let's get our passengers boarding. So we'll just turn on some lights here. Okay, so then we can start our passengers boarding with PACX. There we go. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do quickly is just set up some lights for here. Cool. Okay, so let's go back here to performance, so we can do 0 fuel weight. Fuel 8.7, 8.7. Okay, so required for the flight 8.4 tons, and that's with our diversion fuel as well, so we are all good. So we can put in for reserves 1.1. Cost index is 6. That's interesting. It's normally 5 from Simbri. Cruise altitude today 350. And then 270. 50 for winds, and we are minus 44. been getting a lot of these speed issues recently, so we just kind of have to manage it as we go. Okay, let's double check. What else do we have to do here?
Someone's still finding their way to their seat, so we'll be ready shortly.
Now, actually, what I'm thinking is that this is quite a long time before we're supposed to depart to get the boarding started. Probably should have done that around half an hour. So that's something I should be aware of in future. Because obviously we're starting from cold and dark. Like if you were doing a quick turnaround where you only have like half an hour, then obviously we'd get the passengers boarding as quickly as possible. Let's go to the N1 limit, and we'll just do 50 for assumed temperature, and then we can head over to takeoff. Right, so let me go now and quickly just get the weather for Cape Town. Okay, 300 at 340 at 6 knots. Now I don't know really where to get this runway slope, because I can't find this on any of the charts. So if you know where to find that, I normally just put in one. But if you know where to actually find that on the charts, or where to find that information, that it would be great to know, because I've looked through all of the charts and I don't see that anywhere. Okay, let's go back to page 1. We'll be doing flap 5, and we can put this guy in, so we should get trim, which is 4.8. And set that so long. That's about there. Okay, so enter the CG, verify that the trim value is shown, select or enter the V-speed. So we'll select those. Right, so what I'm going to do, we would do this later, but I'm going to do it now since we're here, is just put 149 as our speed. Cool, and now we would do the whole walk around with the aircraft, so we're not really going to do that. Okay, now the one thing about flying on your own is we kind of have to do the pre-flight procedure for both the captain and the first officer, which makes this take pretty much double the time. But let's quickly go through the first officer prep quickly. So we're going to come up here, double check that those are all guarded and these lights are all out. We'll switch on the yaw damper. Okay, so flight spoiler switches, guards closed, yaw damper on, verify the yaw damper light is extinguished. Hydraulic low quantity, that's these guys here, are all out. This light should be extinguished though, so why is that on? So maybe we need to realign. So let's do that. Because that obviously didn't align correctly, I think. So we'll see if that fixes it. But we still... I think that is part of all these issues. Okay, so we'll come back to double check that. And we'll have to engage the yaw damper again once the IRS is aligned. Okay, that's closed. And we'll come back to check all of these. Right. These should all be set to normal. And this to auto. Fuel pumps all off. These lights should all be on, which they are. These lights should be off. Closed. Fuel pumps all off. Okay, battery obviously closed. On and on. Battery discharge light off. These should also be off. And then these guys should be off as well. Sorry, these lights should be on, so that's correct. That light should be off. These should be off. Those should be on. Okay, now we'll start prepping to fire up the APU. So let's come down here. Okay, fire switches are in. Normal and normal. Then we will do this guy. And check that those come on.
Once all your items are put away, please clear the aisle and sit down in your seat to allow other passengers to find their seats as well. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please read the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card.
Okay, then we'll go this side and check that the fire warning lights come on and the master caution, and we'll check that we can clear it with the master caution. There it is, and that does clear the horn, and these lights stay illuminated. Perfect. Right, let's double check these. They're 3 green, and the same for system 2, 3 green. And then verify that when the switch is neutral, no green lights. Cool, now we can start up the APU. And we'll put on one of the fuel pumps and fire up the APU. Okay, do we have more than 450 kgs in the center tanks? Yes, we do. So we will turn those on when we switch on the fuel pumps. Okay, so we're just waiting for the APU to power up. When we get that light, we will switch over from the ground power to the APU power. In fact, we'll keep the ground power connected, and we'll actually just run the APU for air conditioning. Okay, so that's ready. So let's turn on the PACX and we'll turn on the APU just so we can get some air moving for the passengers that have already boarded. Okay, let's come over here. Equipment cooling, both set to normal. Off lights are both extinguished. We'll close the guard for the emergency lights and verify that the light is out. Passenger signs, we'll do seatbelts on. Wipers parked. Okay, window heat switches can all come on. Check that there's no overheat indication. And verify that the on lights are illuminated. Probe heat switches to stay off. Anti-ice not required at the moment. Engine hydraulic pumps on and electrical hydraulic pumps off. And there are no overheat lights. Low pressure lights are on. Okay, trim air should be on, which it is. Zone temperature lights are extinguished. Ram door full open, both on. Recirculation fans both set to auto. Air conditioning packs set to auto. APU bleed is on. Engine bleeds on. Dual bleed illuminated. Pack lights extinguished. Okay, that's all fine. Right, then we need to come down here and set this to 35,000. And our landing altitude in Durban is 304 feet. So we'll set that to 300. Okay, pressurization selected to, or mode selector auto. Alternate lights is extinguished. And the manual light is extinguished. I don't actually know where those two lights are. I thought they would be here somewhere. Oh, it's these. Okay. And then I think I missed that then, because we should check that these two. Ah, yes, okay. Auto failed, extinguished. Off schedule descent, extinguished. And then alternate and manual. Okay, lighting is already set. And, well, in terms of cockpit lighting, let's double check. Landing lights are all off and retracted. Runway turn off and taxi lights off. We'll start engine 1 first, so we'll set that to left. Engine start switches off. Okay, logos on, that's set to steady, and these are all off as required. Right, then we can come down here and do the first officer's flight director. But actually, I don't know if it makes a difference if we turn it off now. Also, I realized I didn't come back here and actually set this again. Our IRS is not aligned. Yeah, IRSs are still not aligned. I keep pushing that button instead of this one. Let's see. Okay, we'll have to try once more to get these to align. Okay, so we get on DC, that's good, and then it should switch over to align, which it does. If we come back down here, it's not asking us. Okay, now it is. That's good. Right, so hopefully that aligns properly now again. Okay, we should switch on the flight director for the pilot flying first, which is this side. Then we'll do that one. And then that looks better. First officer, we don't really need to set anything here because we're going to be flying from this side. So we can skip through a little bit of that. And then the oxygen mask test, so we can skip over it as well. Okay, then... this is what I wanted to do quickly. And we also just need to check that those are set both to normal. Takeoff config light is extinguished. Cabin altitude also extinguished. Then we just need to test these guys. 1 and 2. So that's done. Okay, then we need to come down here and double check this. Those are all guarded and that light is out. Landing gear lever down, which we've double checked already. And then these two lights should be extinguished and we should set that. But that light should go out. That's cool. N1 selector auto and auto there as well. Fuel flow reset and then to rate.
Our flight time will be roughly 1 hour and 39 minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your
okay, this is set correctly and there's nothing strange on there.
All tray tables and seat backs are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Flight attendants, please prepare cabin.
Right, then we should come down here and just do this guy. That's tested. Okay, then here, this guy should be on standby for now. Okay, seat adjustments, all of that we're not going to do. Okay, so now we're over to the captain's pre-flight, which obviously we would have been doing this at the same time. So we should have actually been done by now, which is kind of perfect timing with the PACX boarding. We are way ahead of when we need to depart here, but yeah, there's obviously only one person in the sim. So let's go through the captain stuff quickly. Right, let's test this guy. Oh, the other thing, that's actually fine, by the way. The other thing I should do is come back up here and just do this. That light is still on, which is interesting. And we have a fuel warning there as well. Okay, let's go through the captain's prep and see. Maybe there's something that the captain sets up that will fix that. Okay, so we've tested those. We need to test these as well. Cool. Okay, let's set this over. And we are actually 1013. Okay, set to map. We can bring this right down for now. Weather radar should be off. Flight director is already on. Bank angle selector. Let's set heading. Okay, speed is set. And this we can actually dial straight up to 35,000. And then make sure that this is up, which it is. Okay, we should do this oxygen mask test. I'm not sure what we're actually supposed to check for, but we should do this as well. And that's done. Okay. Nose wheel steering, that should be closed. Normal and normal over there. These lights are all extinguished, including this one here. Okay, let's check this guy. Cool. Let's double check the standby altimeter 1013. Okay, then let's double check speed brakes. Set speed brake light is extinguished. So is that one. Reverse thrust is down. Thrust lever is closed. Flap lever matches up and up. Parking brake is set. Start lever is cut off. These are normal. Okay, then it's adjusting seats. So next we have before start. So flight deck door. Let's come down here. Right, so we're going to switch over now from the ground power to the APU. And we can release the ground power, remove the chocks, and door closing. Cool. Okay, so that should be set to, oh, it's actually inoperative, but we need to check that lock fail is extinguished, which it is. Right, this should be takeoff, and then we're going to do pushback from here. This will be on the legs page when we are done with that. Okay, this is set. We can now arm the auto throttle. V2 set for speed, and we can arm LNAV and VNAV. That's okay. I thought that wasn't going to arm. Actually, because we shouldn't be doing that. We should be doing heading, because this would be vectored in reality. Okay, so taxi. It is going to be a very simple. We are departing runway 1. So we will push to face left, which is south. So nose left, and then we will taxi via the apron, Bravo, and we will line up Bravo 3 for runway 01. It'll be a vectored departure. Obviously, we don't have ATC, so we'll kind of just do our own vectors. Turning out to the right, so to the east. Then our departure, very simple. It is, oh sorry, that's the arrival. Our departure, very simple. We're just going to follow the vectors. So let's actually close this. In reality, we would follow the vectors. What we're probably going to do is a bit of a turn out here, 90 degrees, and then we'll just go direct to Octet and then follow the route from there. So V speeds, V1 140, rotate 145, V2 149. Okay, doors are closed, windows closed. We are on the APU. And what we can do now is turn on all the fuel pumps. And we have more than 460 kgs in the center tanks, so we'll turn those on, verify that these lights come off, which they have. Those are all on. Hydraulic panel. This is a bit confusing because I always thought you had to have these off, but in the PMDG for the pushback to work, we have to turn these on. Right, then we come here, anti-collision. Trim is set for takeoff, 4.8. Let's go down here and double check that these are set to 0. Cool. Okay, let's ask for the push. And we are going to be departing fairly early. Okay, we want to go L shape and we want nose left, 90 degrees. That's cool.
Cockpit to ground.
And we'll ask for that to happen.
Go ahead.
Hey, sunrise is now
We've been cleared for
kicking
push
off,
and
so
start. Tail to the right.
we'll be departing into the sunrise.
Copy that. Ready to push. Tail to the right. Parking brakes release, please.
Yeah, let's release the brakes. And then we can go through the engine start procedure. Okay, so first things first. Why are we not moving?
Brakes released. Here we go.
Okay, PACX off. We're going to start engine 1, so we'll set that to ground. And then we're going to be checking here, N2 for 25%.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the front
Otherwise,
of
a
the
minimum of
aircraft for safety
20%
demonstration.
and stable.
When the seatbelt light
Okay,
is
it's easy
on,
going to hit 25.
your
There's
seatbelt is
25. We
fastened
can
low and
introduce the
tight
fuel.
across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another. Tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. To familiarize yourself with the emergency exits on this aircraft, please refer to the safety
Okay, at
card in the seat back
56,
pocket in front of you.
this
Cape Town ground
In some
Springbok
cases, the nearest
532
exit
with
might be
Oscar
behind you.
request
If
taxi
you
for
need to
takeoff
evacuate the
departing
aircraft,
straight out.
there is lighting on the floor to guide you towards the
there's
exit.
56,
In the event of
and
decompression,
this guy should move to off, which it did, and we can then flip this over and start engine 2. Same thing, we're looking for 25% or minimum of 20 and stable.
Taxiing hold short runway 01 using taxiway Bravo Springbok 532.
Someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it is safe to remove it. In the event that the pilot decides to
Okay, let's
use
just
swim, fashionable life
fire that
vest
up, and then
located
we'll
in a
set the
pouch
brakes.
under your seat or between the armrests.
Brake set.
When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest. Flip it over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist and buckle at the front. Pull the strap to tighten. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft. If your life vest does not inflate automatically, blow into the mouthpieces for manual inflation. Each vest is equipped with a whistle and light. If necessary, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary flotation device. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelt
Right, now that we're done with
Back
pushback,
seat tables are in
let's
their
go
full
and set
upright
this to
position.
the
We
legs
remind you that
page.
this is
There's
a
the starter
non-smoking
cutout
flight.
at 56.
Tampering with, disabling or destroying the smoke detectors located in the laboratory.
Right, so let's come up here and we'll switch electrical power over to the generators. Turn on the probe heats. Anti-ice not required. Pack switches can come back now to auto. APU bleed can come off. APU switch now can come off. I like to put this back to both because it freaks me out when it's on one side. And we can also then check that the thrust levers are idle, and we can do flaps 1, 2, 5. And these should also be in continuous. We'll switch on the taxi lights as well, and then we'll do our flight control check. So let's set this to system, and we'll do full left, full right, full up, full down, rudder full left, full right. That all looks good. We can dim that display. Flap set and green light. Recall checked. Okay, I'll zoom this out a little bit. Right, and now we can go ahead and taxi out to runway 01. Okay, clear left.
Note the cabin lights will be dimmed for departure and landing. If you require additional lighting, there is a reading light on the panel above.
Okay, so now, before takeoff, it says here, so it seems like if we have less than 2.3 tons in the center fuel tanks, we should switch the center fuel pumps off for takeoff. We've only got 700 or just under 800 kg, so we should be turning off the center tanks for takeoff. Okay, the weather radar doesn't function in the 737 at the moment.
Ready to go.
Okay, cabin's ready. Okay, before takeoff checklist. So, engine starts, switches, continuous, auto brake, RTO, runway turn-off lights on, position lights we will set to strobe when we enter the runway, landing lights same, and same with the TCAS. Runway heading is set 010, and lower ECAM display is blank. Okay, flaps are set, trim is set. Right, let's go and start setting some of that up now. So we'll turn these guys off. Right, we'll set this to terrain. Since we don't have weather radar, we might as well have the terrain display because we are in a mountainous area. Start slowing down here for this turn. Okay, landing lights on. And we'll go strobes. And we'll set this to TARA.
Cape Town Tower Springbok 532 ready at runway 01 departing straight out.
Springbok 532 QNH 29er.9er11006 at 6. Straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff.
Okay, heading is
01.
set. Brakes are released.
Cleared
So
for
we'll do
takeoff
thrust
runway 01
levers,
Springbok
40%.
532.
And we'll go toga. A little bit of forward pressure on the stick. Keep it aligned with the runway. Takeoff thrust set. Hand on the thrust lever until V1.
80 knots.
There's 80 knots check.
V1.
V1.
Rotate. Positive rate of climb.
0. Okay, now we follow the flight director. Yeah, there's 400 feet. So we can go autopilot on. Okay, we can start retracting the flaps. So we'll go flaps 2.
Springbok
Flaps
532 leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Cape Town Tower Springbok 532 frequency change.
And flaps up. Gear off. Let's turn off the
Cape Town
taxi
approach
and
Springbok
runway tunnel
532 is
flights.
type 4 miles north of Cape Town,
Let's do
2,500
our
feet.
90-degree right
Request
turn.
clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Springbok 532 Cape Town approach. Squawk 0066.
Squawk 0066 Springbok 532.
Springbok 532 radar contact 5 miles east of Esterplatte, 3,200 feet. Cleared through the Charlie airspace. Maintain on navigation.
Cleared through the Charlie airspace Springbok 532.
Right, let's come down here and go direct to octet. And we'll engage the LNAV. We can also set standard here because we're standard anyway. The other thing I should have done is break off. Okay, flaps retracted, auto brakes off. Landing lights off at 10,000. Standard set.
Springbok 532 contact Cape Town Center on 124.7. Good day.
124.7 Springbok 532. Cape
Okay.
Town Center, Springbok 532, 8,800 feet.
Center tanks have more than 500 kgs, so center fuel pumps back on.
Continue as planned.
Okay, landing lights can now come off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable
Springbok
electronic
532
devices.
contact
As
Cape
a
Town
reminder,
approach on
please keep your seatbelt fastened while
124.35.
you're seated and do not
Good
congregate
day.
in the galley or near the lavatory.
124.3 Springbok 532. Cape Town approach Springbok 532, 10,600.
Okay, and then it's not going to be long before we turn those pumps off again because we turn them off at 500 kgs, which is coming up right now. Right, pumps off.
Cape Town Center on 124.7. Good day.
124.7 Springbok 532.
Right, we're above 10,000 feet,
Cape Town
so we
Center,
can turn
Springbok 532, 11,800 feet.
these off as well.
Springbok 532, Cape Town Center QNH 29.901. Continue as planned.
Right, we're not doing ETOPS, so we don't need to worry about any of that. And we will set up or double check our setup when we, or before we reach top of descent. So let's actually have a quick look at the Durban weather. So it's actually gotten more windy in favor of runway 6. So our initial plan of runway 6 looks like it's definitely going to be staying that way. I was kind of keen to do the runway 24 approach because it means we do a kind of low circle round along the coast to approach from the opposite direction. But 10 knot headwind on runway 6, 1 knot from the right. We're definitely not doing runway 24 with a 10 knot tailwind. So if it stays like it was only 5 knots when I did the flight plan, so it's gotten worse. But winds are higher, but still in favor of runway 6, so we'll see if that changes. Okay, so we've got about 2 hours to go into the sunrise. And, all along the coast here down to Durban. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just turn these lights off. Oh, this is something else I should have done. These should have been set to off after takeoff. Nice 40-knot tailwind at the moment. 10,000 feet to go to cruise. Yeah, we can turn off the terrain radar now. Don't really need that. Okay, 5,000 feet to go. little bumpy here. I'm wondering if it's going to get worse over the cloud bank over there. So we might need to turn the seatbelt signs on if it does get... Well, I mean, it's fine at the moment, but... might get worse over there. Okay, 1,000 feet to go. Right, there we are at our cruise altitude. So I will pick up with you again when it's time to prep for descent. Hopefully it doesn't get too bumpy along the way. Alright, so we're coming up to our top of descent shortly, so we're going to start preparing for our descent and approach and arrival here. Looking at Durban's weather, the wind's picked up even more, but still almost perfectly straight down runway 6. So we've got a 13 knot headwind and 1 knot on the right. So we'll definitely be doing runway 6. That gives us the Dunsa 1 Alpha arrival and the ILS 06. So let's just double check that that is exactly what we have set. ILS 06, Dunsa 1 Alpha. That's perfect. Right, we're going to go, because we're landing runway 6. Right, let's have a look here. We are landing runway 6, so we want to be as short as possible because we're going to be parking over here. So I think we'll bump the auto brake up to like level 2. So we can hopefully exit hotel, maybe. Yeah, I don't think we'll get managed golf, but we should manage hotel. Right, let's have a look at what else we have in here. So let's, well, obviously we're going to exit probably hotel and then Alpha Echo into stand 8 we are doing. Right, runway elevation. Okay, that's all cool. Let's have a look here.
You're leaving my airspace radar service. Terminated squawk 7000.
Right, yeah, this is the approach that I wanted to do because it's really cool. But we're going straight in. 5,000, 4,000, and max 250 at Dunsa
Springbok
and 210.
Springbok
Minimums we'll do 487 barometric.
Springbok 532 radar contact.
Right, we're going to start our descent here down to 3,000.
Flight level 350.
Roger, Springbok 532.
Okay, and let's just double check in here. Dunsa 250 and then we're 210 after that. That's perfect. And we said minimums 487 barrows. So let's switch that over and we'll dial this up to 487. Okay, that's set. We're going to do auto brake level 2 like we discussed. And if we come across here, we'll do flaps 40 so we can try and reduce that rollout distance as much as possible. Okay, 11130 and 62 degree course. So let's do 11130. We'll dial that on both sides. And we set a course of 62. Let's just check that matches the chart. Yes, it does. So we can dial this up to 62. Okay, so that's set. Alright, our center fuel pumps are already off. Let's just check our recall. We've got nothing there. Nav radios are set, course is set, auto brake set, and our VREF is set. Okay, we're coming through 10,000 feet. I'll switch on the landing lights and switch on the seatbelt signs as well. We're a little fast, so let's bring some more speed brake in to control that. Yeah, the speed is slowly coming down because we should be (210) at the next waypoint. And that's coming down to match that, so that's cool. The runway's out there, so there's the harbour. Maybe not that far even, there. Okay, we can start with flaps though. So that's flaps 1. A little bit bumpy. We are expecting decent winds. Again, 13 knot headwind on the runway. Let's just double check that hasn't changed. QNH is still 100. Okay, let's go flaps 5. Localizer's alive now. There's the old Durban airport over there.
Springbok 532, contact Durban approach on 125.75. Good day.
And Gladstone is alive. Let's go ahead then and
125.75 for Springbok
we're on
532.
speed brakes as well.
Durban approach Springbok 532 6,100 feet.
Springbok 532 Durban, approach QNH 29.79er, continue as planned.
Okay, DME 19.5. Wow, that's quite an interesting picture. Okay, 14 DME now. Yeah, let's go flex 15 and get up. Runway inside now. Okay, we'll do 160. Okay, we can go flaps 4 now. Okay, we'll turn on the taxi and runway turn-off lights. And engine start switches to continuous. That'll check.
2500.
Just double check the QNH again, hasn't updated, not still on 009. Okay, our approach speed is 146. We are now 6 miles out. Nice and bumpy approach. Okay, get down 3 green. Flaps for the auto brake 2. Speed brakes aren't. Minimums 487. Okay, we're coming up to 4 DME, so let's bring the speed down. 146. Coming up to 1,000 feet. Or 1,000 feet radio.
1,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it throttled up there, but we have control now of the throttles.
Glide slow.
And autopilot is disconnected.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
Oh, our
Glide
speed
slow.
reference is also set to 162.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
That's interesting.
Glide slow.
Okay, well,
Glide
it's a
slow.
disaster.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
Shouldn't have tried to fix that. Now I'm really low.
100. $50, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, there's Golf. It's all coming up now. Okay, speed brake down. We can bring the flaps up.
The local time is 7:26
Turn
a.m.
off the landing
It is
lights.
currently about 29 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a
Okay, I'm gonna have to turn off the strobes as well, but I'll do that when I can.
Remember to use caution
And
when
same
opening
with the
overhead
TCAS.
bins. Items may have shifted during the flight. Thank you for flying with
Let's
us.
disarm the auto brake. Okay, strobes off. TCAS to standby. Let's start up the APU as well, and we'll set these switches back to off. Okay, we can also turn off probe heats. Exterior lights are set. The radar's in off. Auto brake is off, flaps up, spoilers, or speed brake down, and transponder standby. Okay, we don't really need the runway turn-off lights. And we're not taking this right turn, we're taking the next one. And then stand 8 is the one we're looking for. Here's Echo. This is 9, so we're going to go left here to 8. Let's turn off the taxi lights. Okay, parking brake set. Let's go up and switch over to the APU. Right, and then we can go ahead and shut down the engines, and we'll switch over to APU bleed so we can still have some air moving through the cabin. Right, and then we can go ahead and turn off the anti-collision lights. We don't need the logo light anymore, and we'll turn off the seatbelts. And we can also turn off all the fuel pumps. We'll leave one on for the APU. Anti-ice is already off, and we're going to turn off these two. That's all set up as needed. We can turn off flight directors. And that's where we can leave it for now, because in reality we would be doing a turnaround and probably heading back to Cape Town, or possibly up to Joburg from there. So we're 31 minutes early with PACX, which is not disembarking. I think what we need to do is just open up the door. And then PACX should be happy. Huh. Still not disembarking. Seatbelt signs are on. Anti-collisions on. Oh, there we go. Right, so that's going to bring us to the end of this video. I'm not sure what happened on short final there. When I disengaged the auto throttle, the engines went all the way up and my V-speed changed. That's almost like I pushed toga. I must go check my settings and see what happened there. So yeah, we were very low on short final. Not the best approach ever, but we landed safely. So welcome to a nice sunny Durban King Sharker. It is currently 29 degrees. And that's going to bring us to the end of the video. If you made it all this way, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, you know what to do down below, and I will see you in the next one.